Hey y'all. Y'all know what time it is, y'all. It's time. It's time for my July TBR. And guys, I am truly going to read every stinking book that's on my July TBR. Let's just get straight into it. All right, guys. July is here. I am so stinking excited for the summertime because in the summertime I like to read a diverse types of a book, but most of them are romance. As y'all know, I am a romance girly. So most of the books that I love to read in the summertime is romance. During the winter time, I'm more of like a mystery thriller type girl, but I still have to have my romance books in there as well. But this stack right here is a diverse amount of books that I just know that I will read for the month of July. Y'all drop it down in the comments. Tell me what are your most anticipated reads for the month of July with it being so hot, all the things. Y'all please make sure that y'all are staying hydrated out there. It is super hot. It's not just hot, y'all. It is super hot. So make sure your kids are staying hydrated. Make sure that you're staying hydrated. If you're going to be outside, y'all, make sure that you're at a pool or something like that. And just make sure that you guys stay hydrated. I would so hate for anybody to be put in the hospital for dehydration because it's no fun. I'm pretty sure it's no fun. So guys, these are the books I want to read for July. I am so excited about these books because I just know that I'm going to read every last one of these books. So guys, let's just get straight into it. I read Good Dirt by this author. I had already read Black Cake by Charmaine Wickerson, and I just did not like the book when I read it the first time. So I read Good Dirt by the same author. I was completely in the love with that book. So my thought was I'm going to give Black Cake another try. One of my nurses at the job that I work at some time ago, she had asked me had I read Black Cake. And I did, but I did not like it. So we're going to read this book again for the month of July. It says, in present day California, Eleanor Bennett's death leaves behind a puzzling inheritance for her two children, Brian and Benny, a traditional Caribbean black cake made of a family recipe with a long history and a voice recording. In her message, Eleanor shares a Titomius story about a headstrong young swimmer who escapes her island home under suspicion of murder. The heartbreaking tale Eleanor unfolds, the secrets she still holds back, and the mystery of a long lost child challenge everything the siblings thought they knew about their identities and themselves. Can Brian and Benny reclaim their own close relationship, piece together Eleanor's true history, and fulfill her final request to share the black cake when the time is right? Will their mother's revelation bring them back together or leave them feeling more lost than ever? So I do kind of remember like reading this book, or at least reading the back of this book when I read it before, but do I remember anything about this book? I did not. I don't know if I wasn't in the correct headspace when I read this book or what it was, y'all, but we're going to read this book again in the month of July. Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. I was looking dead at it, knew how to say it, y'all, and it just would not come out of my mouth. But Broken Country is a Reese's Book Club pick, and it's by Claire Leslie Hall. Love the cover of this book. It reminds me of like a historical fiction, or it reminds me of like a prairie old western type book. I have not read this book yet, but I am going to start this book very soon. It says, the farmer is dead. He is dead, and all anyone wants to know is who killed him. Beth and her gentle, kind husband, Frank, are happily married. though their relationship relies on the past staying buried. But when Beth's brother-in-law shoots a dog going after their sheep, Beth doesn't realize that the gunshot will alter the course of their lives. The dog belonged to none other than Gabriel Wolf, the man Beth loved as a teenager. The man who broke her heart years ago. Gabriel has returned to the village with his young son, Leo, a boy who reminds Beth very much of her own son, who died a few years earlier in a tragic accident. As Beth is pulled back into Gabriel's life, tension around the village rise, and dangerous secrets and latent jealousy from the past resurfaces, this time with deadly consequences. Beth is forced to choose between the woman who she once was and the woman she has become. A sweeping love story with the pace and twist of a thriller. Broken Country is a novel of similar passion, impossible choices, and explosive consequences that toggles between the past and the present to explore the far-reaching legacy of first love. So, sound like it is a first love trope, but also has a little thrill in it from what it says. So hopefully, guys, I will enjoy this book. If you have read that book, drop it down in the comments. Of course, guys, let me know about any of these books that I am telling you guys about. We have a sci-fi fiction book, which is a Pierce Brown. I read the Red Rising, the first book in this series. This is book 2 of the Red Rising trilogy, and it is Golden Sun. We will be reading this book for the month of July, guys. On the back of his books, they really are dainty. Like, they don't really give you a whole amount of detail about what the book is going to be about. Red Rising was okay for me. By the time I got down toward the end of the book, it started to like pick up in my head, and I started to enjoy it, but it was kind of a slow burn for me. I don't know if sci-fi is it like that, y'all. Is sci-fi always like a slow burn? Because Red Rising was for me. The pulmonologist that works at my job, he saw Red Rising one day when I was reading it, and he actually said something about it. Like, he really do like the series, even though this series or this type of books, like it's sci-fi, is really not his thing. But we will be reading Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. It says he seeks justice to free his enslaved people. Darrow has infiltrated his world's brutal ruling class on a mission to destroy them. And though the only path to liberation is revolution, he must strive not for vengeance, but for a hopeful rebirth. I cannot even really talk about or tell you guys what I thought about Red Rising. I really and truly don't remember too much about it, but I will always go back on my Goodreads and see like what I wrote, if I wrote anything, or I will just sit and I will just think about the book and see if like all of it goes together. The only thing that I really kind of remember about Red Rising is that Darrow, however you say his name, his wife was killed in that book, and like he actually, I think, was killed too, but was actually brought back to life for a reason. So I'm going to see how Golden Sun actually plays a role in Red Rising, like from Red Rising to Golden Sun. Y'all help me out. Let me know if I'm gonna like this book, even if I am not liking the book during the time I'm reading it. Y'all know I hate to DNF a book, so I will actually just read that book till the end, and I'll tell you guys what I think about that book. We are continuing the Windy City series, and it is by Liz Tomford. This one is Caught Up. I love this series, y'all. I love this series. I read Mile High and Right Move already. I have the 3rd book in the series, and I think I have the 4th book also. I think it's Play Along. I'm looking at it down on my shelf right now. But y'all, I love this series. I loved Xander and Stevie in Mile High, and I also fell in love with Ryan and Indy in Right Move. Such cute love storybooks. And I just really love that series. So this one is about Kyle and Miller. And I want to say, is it Kyle or which one is? Okay, Kyle. I want to say toward the end of this of Right Move, whenever Indy and Ryan, whenever they actually decided to be a couple and not let, you know, his or her past like dictate if they're going to be a couple or not. I think Kyle brought his son by for them to keep. And so I'm guessing like that's the reason why Kyle is in this book. I don't know. But I just love the way it's different characters in each book. But you also have already seen, or they have already said something about a character, at least one of them. And probably both of them. I'm not sure. I don't know if I read anything about Miller in the previous book. But once I start reading it and they start describing the person or whatever, I probably will think back on both of the books and see like if I actually read about that person in the other two books. But this one says, Kai, I am a single dad and a starting pitcher for Chicago MLB team. I'm stretched too thin, but I don't want help raising my son. Each of his previous nannies only lasted a few weeks before I let them go. Now my coach is putting his foot down by hiring the one person I can't fire, his daughter, his freaking daughter. So I don't know. Did I read about Miller in any of the other books? This one is pretty much about baseball, I think. So I don't think that I read about Miller in the other books, because the other books did not have anything to do with baseball, even though Right Move had something to do with basketball and Mile High had something to do with hockey. So that really don't make a difference, but I have not read about Miller in the other book. Miller Montgomery is the last woman I should fall for. Too wild, too young, and too unattached. Chicago is just a quick stop for her. I thought I'd be counting down the days until she left, but summer falls too short when I start thinking about forever. Miller, as a high-end pastry chef who recently won the most prestigious award in my industry, I'm desperate to prove I deserve it. But when a new title comes, new pressure. I can't create a fresh and inspiring dessert to save my life. So it's like she's at a standstill. Kind of like that. Kind of makes me think like when we're in a reading slump. Like she said, I can't create a fresh and inspiring dessert to save my life. With only 2 months to get back on track, I should be focusing in the kitchen. But instead, I let my dad talk me into using my time off to nanny for his star player's kid. Kai Rhodes forgot how to have fun, and I'm eager to jog his memory. But when he and his son starts to feel like home, I have to remind us both that my time in Chicago ends with the summer. Besides, I've always been a runner, and the last thing I want is to get caught. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. I am so ready to read this book. That just sounds like true love. That sounds like somebody who is like running from love. That sounds like two people who just need each other in their lives to make their lives complete. Oh my God, I am so ready to read this book. But it is the third book in the Windy City series. It is Caught Up by Liz Tomford. Oh, I just love when books sound like that, y'all. The next one is a Hannah Grace book. I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace and Wildfire. I think Hannah Grace actually wrote those two books. I think those are the only two books that I read by Hannah Grace, and I did enjoy them. This one also, I believe, is a part of the Maple Hills novel. So I'm guessing that this right here might be book 3, but it looks like they're kind of like standalones, because yeah, Wildfire, Icebreaker, I did read those two books by this person. But now we're gonna read Daydream by Hannah Grace. I've had this book on my shelf for a hot minute, and every time I look at my color-coded bookshelf, and the purples actually catch my attention, I look at Daydream and I want to read this book. The cover of it is just so stinking cute. It has that a girl with her dress, with her bomber jacket on, and she has her books in her hand, and then the guy sitting on a stool with his book in his hand, just looking at her like, oh, you're so pretty. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. And then I even love it more because of the actual bookshelf that's in the back of the background. But anyway, y'all, it says he's the one she's dreaming of. The book is called Daydream. When his personification lands him in a difficult class with his least favorite professor, Henry Turner knows he's going to have to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college. And now that his new role as captain of the hockey team, another hockey book, Henry absolutely cannot fail. Enter Holly Jacobs, a fellow junior from Henry's Be Friends, when he accidentally crashed her book club. Haley may not have the romantic pursuit of her favorite fictional leads or the experience from the novel she's trying to write, but she's an academic superstar, and as soon as she hears about Henry's problems with his classes, she offers to help. She knows that new experiences are the key to beating her self-doubt, and Henry's promising to be the one to give them to her. They just need to stick to their rule book, which where item 4 reads, "Don't fall in love." Oh my God, that sounds so cute. Oh, guys, I am so ready to read this book. I just love books. It just makes me feel so warm and fluffy inside, especially at this time of year. So, Hannah Grace, we're going to read the Daydream for the month of July. Y'all remember I read Lights Out. It was a slow burn for me, but I said I wasn't going to get this book, but every time I see it in the bookstore, I'm like, Yolanda, get the book. Yolanda, get the book. Third time is a charm, right? Yolanda, get the book. So we end up getting caught up by Navisa Allen. Oh, I think I will like this book. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this book. And when I was reading them and also reading that it says it was a slow burn, I don't understand how it can be a slow burn with all the trigger warnings that it has in it. It seems like the trigger warnings will make it a lot even more interesting. But this one says Nico Jr. knows Lauren is off limits. Men like him don't get to have women like her. It's why he pushes her away in high school and still keeps his distance. But Junior follow Lauren online, and oh my God, y'all, I cannot read. Okay, let's start over. Okay, Nico Jr. knows Lauren is off limits. Men like him don't get to have women like her. It's why he pushed her away in high school and still keeps his distance. But Junior follows Lauren online, and now that the shy, bookish girl he remembers is gone, he can't stop obsessing over the strikingly beautiful woman who has taken her place. But you can be strikingly beautiful and also be bookish. I mean, like, look at us. So I don't agree with that part. Lauren, who they call Lo, knows Junior is dangerous. He broke her heart once and she won't let him do it again. But as their flirtatious encounters escalate, Lauren starts to remember why she fell for the broodingly anti-hero all those years ago. As old obstacles resurface, Junior and Lauren are forced to face their true feelings for each other and decide just how far they're willing to go for a second chance at love. Y'all know I am a second chance at love trope fool. So hopefully this book will be a good book for me to read. It seems like it might have like some true love in it and some thriller as well. And I love sometimes to combo with both of those types of genres. So hopefully, I know that Caught Up is going to be a great book to read. Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. We're going to read this book for the month of July. I've had this book for quite some time. I just not too long ago read Divine Rivals. Really did like that book. Did not know what took me so long to read that book. But that was just one day I was shopping my bookshelves and I was determined to only read books that I have in this freaking house, because I have so many and I buy so many, and so many of them get put on the back burner, and I just need to stop doing that. Even though I buy books, I still need to actually read the books that I have on my shelves. So, Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. It says 2 weeks have passed since Iris Winnow returned home bruised and heartbroken from the front, but the war is far from over. Roman is missing, and the city of Oath continues to dwell in a state of disbelief and ignorance. When Iris and Addie are given another chance to report to the Russ movement, they both take their opportunity and head westward once more, despite the danger, knowing it's only a matter of time before the conflict reaches a city that's unprepared and fragiling. Since waking below in the realm, Rome cannot remember his past, but given the reassurance that his memories will return in time, Rome begins to write articles for the realm, uncertain of his place in the greater scheme of war. When a strange letter arrives by wardrobe door, Roman is first suspicious when and intrigued as he strikes up a correspondence with his mysterious pen pal. Roman will soon have to make a decision to stand with Darcy or betray the god who healed him. As the days grow darker, Rome and Iris brings closer together. The two of them will risk their very hearts and future to turn the tides of the war. So y'all, is Iris from Divine Rivals, or both of these are from Divine Rivals, I think. Feel romance, longing, and a race to save each other and those they care about. Ruthless Vows is an epic conclusion of Divine Rivals, Iris and Roman's breathtaking love story. Yeah, so that's what I thought. I knew those names sounded so familiar, and y'all, I read so many freaking books. Sometimes I can remember like right offhand, and other times I have to like read some more so that I can remember what I read. But so this is just a continuation of Iris and Roman's love story. When they started talking about the wardrobe, I was like, hey, they were getting each other's letters through the wardrobe in Divine Rivals. So this is just a continuation of their love. This is a fantasy book to my understanding, but it is so freaking good. Or at least Divine Rivals was. So we're going to read Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross in the month of July. Y'all, I truly do not like books that has a back cover like this. I don't know what it is. It's just, I just don't think it's appealing. I don't think it is, I won't say appropriate. I don't know, y'all. It just does not do anything for me to have a whole face on the back of the book. Like, why? But anyway, every time I go through Book Talk, Instagram, TikTok, all those different platforms just to see what people are actually reading, guys, I'm always seeing Janet Ivnoski, however you say her name, Dirty 30. Dirty 30. I've always seen this book. Always wanted to pick it up from the store and read it. But you guys know how I am about hardcover books at some points in times. Like, they are just too expensive sometimes when I don't want to splurge. But I was working out at my job and they actually have books there that you can take. And actually, some of the books that I have over there to go to the little free library, I need to take it to work with me tomorrow and put some down there in the gym so that other people can enjoy those books as well. But Dirty 30, we're going to read this book in the month of July. And it says, Stephanie Plum, Trent's hardest working, most unappreciated bounty hunter, is having a dry spell. She's hunting multiple fugitives from justice and so far has brought in a grand total of none. High on her list is the Duncan Danger, who was caught red-handed robbing Martin's jewelry store and promptly jumped bail. It's a fly in here, a gnat or something. With Danger in the wind, Martin's jewelry store offers Stephanie a freelance assignment. He wants her to locate his former security guard, Andy, aka Nutsy. He is convinced that Nutsy stole a fortune in diamonds from his backroom safe on the same day that Danger cleaned out the display case in front. 2 crooks, 2 crimes, plenty of problems. With her boyfriend Joe away in Miami on a police business, Stephanie is taking care of Bob, which is a giant orange dog. That is exactly the way she put it. A giant orange dog who will devour absolutely everything in his path, from Stephanie's stray donuts to upholstery in her car. The dog, Bob's absence also means the inscrutable irritability security expert Ranger is front and center in Stephanie's life when things inadvertently goes sideways. So, yeah, it's a lot there to read. And I really don't even feel like reading it all. But I love the cover. The paper of this book does not give this book any justice. But the book itself gives this book so much justice, y'all. Like, look at it. It don't have Dirty 30 on here, but it has 30 with a chain. And then on the inside of it, like, y'all, look. How cute is that? That is so freaking cute. So, anyway, guys, we're going to read Dirty 30 by Janet Evanuski. Y'all know I butcher her name. At least I do try, though. So, all right, guys. So, we got 2 more books that we have on our July TBR that is going to be read in July. I mean that. I would not leave out a book this time for the month of July like I have for the previous months, because I don't want to keep popping them over to the next month. But anyway, guys, Mommy by Jessica George. We're actually going to read this book as well. I think I've had this book on a few of my TBRs, so I don't think I'm going to go through the whole shenanigans of reading what this book is about, because I've read it a couple of times on some of my TBRs. But I got to get this book read because I have plans for this book. So this book has to be completed. So, Mommy by Jessica George. I have heard some good things about that book also, guys. So I am freaking ready to read that book so that I can do what I need to do with it and just get it off my shelf. All right, last and final book that I am actually in the middle of right now, and I'm not too far into it, so we'll just say that we're going to read it in the month of July, is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. There is somebody, and I don't know his name. If I can look him up and actually put his handle from TikTok on my screen somewhere, I will do that. But he was live. He was talking about this book, and I just fell in love with the cover of it. And he said you have to be like in the right headspace to try to read this book. So I actually did pick it up, had spray edges on it, and it is just, I don't know, I just love the cover. The cover just really sparked my attention. So it says, This chilling historical novel is set in the days of the state of Montana following a Blackfeet Indian named Good Stab as he hunts the fields of the Blackfoot Nation looking for justice. It begins with a diary written in 1912 by Lutheran pastor is discovered within a wall in 2012. What is unveiled is a slow massacre, a nearly forgotten chain of events that goes back to 217 Blackfoot dead in the snow. Told in the transcribed interview with Goodstab, who shares the narrative of his particular and unnaturally long life over a series of confessional visits. This is an American Indian revenge story captured in a vivid voice of the time by one of the new masters of literary horror, Stephen Graham Jones. Okay, so not much that actually tells us what this book is about. Very, very dainty synopsis. Y'all, I paid, I don't know where, I had to get it from Barnes and Noble, Books A Million. I think I know I have a membership there. But, you know, sometimes as I look at these books and see how much I paid for them, I'm like, did you really pay that much for that book? But anyway, hardback book. This book was actually $29.99 at BAM. I had to have had some type of discount or something if I got this book, because I don't know. I just don't feel like I paid $30 for a book. Even though I will. Now. I will pay $30 for a book. But those are all the books that I want to read in the month of July, y'all. I am so ready. And this is not even all of them, but y'all know sometimes I just cannot hold them all in my hand. But anyway, guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please check me out. Subscribe to my channel, hit your notification bell so that you will always know when I upload a vlog, a short, a post, all the things. Become a part of my space. I would really, really love you guys to become a part of my space. I appreciate the support regardless if you are subscribed or not, but subscribe to my freaking channel. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. But anyway, subscribe to my channel if you would like, guys. This space is beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.